X, out in theaters now, new slasher directed by Tai West, also written by himself, starring Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega and Kid Cudi. It caught my eye mainly because of the fact that it's distributed by the A24 production company, which is a company that tends to have a really good eye for solid indie films. And they weren't wrong this time either. X is a film that takes place in 1979 and follows three guys and three girls who go out to a farm in rural Texas where they rent out a building from the creepy old owners in order to cheaply and quietly shoot a porn film in there. But quickly after they start, things begin to get really crazy and really bloody. And that's the gist of it, a simple premise but very well executed. The first act of the film is heavily reminiscent of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, almost to the point of paying homage, but also letting the audience know we know all the rules of the slasher film and we intend to follow them closely. Until they don't, because at some point things become more unexpected and fresh, they go a bit of a different direction, referencing, being its own film but also referencing other stuff, such as Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock in several ways. I don't want to spoil anything plot related, but I loved how the movie sticks to its themes of eroticism, sex, desire, physical beauty, and creates a lot of horror revolving around those elements, almost as if it teases you in the beginning with all the sex scenes and the pretty ladies, and then says, okay, you want to see sexy? Well, how about this? And then pulls out the most creepy, disgusting, and off-putting shit imaginable. It's properly bloody and brutal, but it understands that slasher films are rarely scary on their own, and instead tries to go more the creepy route rather than straight up horrifying. Plus, there is quite a bit of really darkly humorous moments in here, even towards the climax. I mean, there were a few real laughs from me. I also admired its dedication to detail, its attention to detail, and how the most minuscule, seemingly background elements end up contributing to the film's plot. Mia Goth is very good, and as I've learned after seeing the film, she actually plays two roles in it. She is also the old lady Pearl, albeit under heavy makeup, so barely recognizable if at all. The cinematography and especially the editing are pretty impressive. I also want to point out the soundtrack, which is pretty awesome, even if sometimes a little bit on the nose, like with its use of Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult in one particular scene. But I think the rule of cool applies here, and I like that moment anyway. Also, interesting piece of information. Apparently, as the crew was getting ready to shoot the film in New Zealand, the writer and director Tai West was getting bored being locked on a quarantine, so he wrote a prequel film to this one called Pearl. And as soon as they were done shooting X, he asked Mia Goth if she was interested in staying there and doing Pearl right away, to which she agreed. So they essentially made two movies back to back, and the other one is supposed to be released later this year. To which I am looking forward, genuinely, because X has been very entertaining, and I think it's a really great example of a movie that knows what it is and executes a very simple premise quite well.